To the friends,
family,
and teachers
of the class of 2020,
we thank you for the support,
encouragement,
and lessons
offered during our time at Craig.
More importantly,
to the stalwart peers
who fought with resilience,
tenacity,
and grit
to create a portfolio of ambitions
and accomplishment
through unprecedented challenges
and unforeseen barriers.
We pay tribute
to your determined spirit. Our efforts have come to fruition
in this accomplishment.
Together,
we conclude one of the most
formative phases of our lives.
High school.
Now, as we begin our lives beyond the doors of Craig High School,
we embolden this class of 2020 to continue to demonstrate strength
and courage in the world of unprecedented challenges
and unforeseen barriers. Continue with a determined spirit
that exemplifies this class of 2020.
Hello, and welcome to the class of 2020's virtual commencement ceremony. My name is Dr. Allison Bion, and I'm honored to serve Craig High School as principal. To open our program, Senior Class President Emily Klein will deliver the class charge.
Welcome, family, friends, staff, those browsing YouTube, and the Janesville Craig High School class of 2020 to our virtual graduation ceremony. My name is Emily Klein, and I am the Senior Class President. Though we are gathered today in a way that is nothing close to ordinary, our unfortunate circumstances make the celebration even more important. Graduation has been when seniors close a chapter of their lives. It is a day to celebrate, say goodbye, and to say thank you. It's our last day as high school students and the last time we are all gathered in one place. For us, that experience is a little different, but we're together in spirit, and someday we may all be able to reunite again. Although our conditions aren't ideal, we can't forget why we're here. Seniors, as you're watching, be proud of where you are at this very moment. You made it. What's happened in the recent months cannot change the hard work you put forth, the memories you've made, or the laughs you shared during your high school years. The uncertainty of the future cannot change the fact that you are here right now and you are graduating. This message is shown in our class motto, a quote from American poet and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. Although our class is living through a year like no other, we are strong within. Graduates, my charge to you is to live every day to its fullest potential. Don't dwell on the past or fear for the future. Craig High School has prepared you to take on the real world, and now it's your job to make it a better place. If you use the resilience, perseverance, and confidence you hold within, I know that you are all capable of making your visions a reality. Congratulations, and good luck.
At this time, we will honor our nation's proud heritage as senior Madeleine Grund performs the Star-Spangled Banner on the French horn. Maddie was a member of our wind ensemble and studied under the direction of Mr. Jake Wheely. Many years, when it's time for me to write some remarks to share with a graduating class, I spend time thinking about what distinguished a particular class over another. This year, there seemed no shortage of comments I could make about the uniqueness of the class of 2020. What seems most significant is the resilience with which your class has met the adversity and challenge that have presented themselves in the past few months. Unexpected change impacted your senior year, and change will inevitably be part of our shared experience moving forward. Success, overcoming the odds, and happiness are all found in how we respond to what life puts in our path. Consider Maya Angelou's powerful words. I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. There's much your teachers and I hope we taught you in your years at Craig, but knowing you left with the courage of heart to face life's challenges and the strength to weather a storm means you are ready for whatever comes next. I'm proud to have shared this moment in our lives and in our nation's history with you. Remember that as the great teacher Confucius shared, our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. May you always find the strength to rise up in the face of adversity and remember the lessons about life and living this year's unique circumstance offered us all. Dear class of 2020, please accept my sincere congratulations and wishes for all the best in what is yet to come.
Hello, my name is Cameron Welsh, and I am the senior class treasurer. I am proud to introduce one of our student speakers, Gabby Piazzolla. Gabby is a student who has been dedicated to her studies for the last 4 years, which resulted in her being one of Craig High School's valedictorians. Gabby is also a varsity athlete who has competed in cross country and track. She was awarded the 2020 YWCA Young Women of Distinction honor in recognition of her volunteer work. Gabby serves as the editor and a photographer for the school newspaper, The Craig Criterion, which she has been a part of for her entire career as a Cougar. In the fall, Gabby will attend Central College in Pella, Iowa, to begin her studies in the secondary education field. She hopes to teach psychology at the high school level and eventually earn a master's and doctoral degree. Today, Gabby will speak about the most important lessons she has gathered from her experiences in school. Now, please welcome Gabby Piazzolla.
We have courage, we have compassion, we have character, we are a community. These are the characteristics of a true Craig Cougar. When we go onto the workforce, onto the military, to a community college, or to a university, these are the traits we must hold on to in order to conquer all of the goals we are looking toward, and especially to utilize in these extraordinary times. Hello, fellow graduates. My name is Gabby Piazzolla. I may not be the most relatable student to give this speech, as anyone who knows me probably thinks I'm a school-obsessed overachiever, and they wouldn't exactly be wrong. I love to learn new things, and I love the daily connections with my friends and teachers. But through this high school experience, I have been afforded with a perspective few get to see, as shown through my articles and photographs for the school newspaper that capture the heart and soul of this school and the senior class. And through my love of learning about psychology, I've discovered empirically proven strategies for success and happiness that hold true in these trying times. Best of all, these strategies we have in our toolkit already: courage, compassion, character, and community. We have courage. Anyone who has stood up in front of a class to give a presentation has courage. Anyone who has taken a test they procrastinated studying for until the night before has courage. Anyone who has tried to get out of the parking lot right after school ends has courage. And even now, we are courageous. We stay home, uncertain of the outcome, curled up in a ball, binge-watching Netflix, running out of things to watch. Even this form of what many people would consider laziness and weakness is courage, and there is no courage without vulnerability. Throughout this quarantine, I have taken comfort from the psychologist Brené Brown, who focuses on the importance of vulnerability in connection, joy, and creativity. Vulnerability means uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. This experience with COVID-19 has led us face to face with our vulnerabilities. In order to thrive, we must push ourselves beyond our current capabilities. If we choose to hide in the shadows of stagnation, afraid of risk and emotional exposure, then we will never achieve the success and joy we deserve. Putting yourself out there is defying conformity, proposing something new, and in the process, probably getting your butt kicked. But you won't achieve anything from the sidelines, a passive spectator to your own story. You are the only one in charge of your future. The second attribute of a Craig Cougar is character. Every human is 99.9% genetically similar, but that 0.1% is what separates the class clowns from the jocks, the future doctors from the teachers, and the calm and collected from the type A's. We are all unique and all have something to contribute to this world. We have been through 13 years of education, starting with our ABCs and reading green eggs and ham, to solving quadratic equations with A, B, and C variables, and staying up late trying to finish our assigned readings before the test. Although we are new high school graduates, we are not amateurs in the game of life. We are not the poor 2020 graduates laying victim to COVID-19. We will find strength in our failures in order to continue fighting for our futures. In this time of crisis, we may feel like our role and our worries are insignificant and may feel the passive resignation of our inability to act. Instead, we must go forward knowing that it's the ordinary actions that can make an extraordinary impact. We either choose complacency or authenticity, and we must choose authenticity each and every day, deciding if we're going to stay home and lose the daily opportunity to grow as a person, or show up and do the best we can. We are all going on to different paths of life. The biggest challenge we face is defining our character. As actor Matthew McConaughey says, knowing who we are is hard. It's hard, so give yourself a break. Eliminate who you are not. His words show us that by accepting who we are not, we could start to learn who our true character is and focus our attention on what will truly bring our life purpose and meaning. I will never be a successful artist or comedian, but I will try to be the best teacher I can and leave the comedy to SNL and the artwork to the future Van Goghs. I don't want to learn how to solve differential equations, so I'll leave that to Mr. Budrow and all the future math and engineering majors. Our character may change over time, and that's okay, but we can always eliminate those things that antagonize our character in order to move toward our purpose. Being self-compassionate in the pursuit of finding your character is essential to future success. Compassion is the third and final characteristic of a Craig Cougar. We have built so many deep connections with others. We have found role models in our coaches, our parents, our teachers, and those who support us. Especially now, we realize the value of these connections. We all take for granted the ordinary, rushing out to lunch with our friends, searching constantly for the extraordinary. Our true allies and friends in life are going to be the ones to tell us how important we are, even if we failed a class or fell down the stairs making a complete fool of ourselves. They will push us past our comfort zone with the hope of allowing us to soar. And if we fail, these people will be the ones saying that even powerful eagles need to take a break to perch. These will be the compilation of those who understand our struggles and push us to overcome them. These are not the people who love and care about you despite your imperfections, but because of them. So as you go forward, find those who are willing to be authentic in their struggles. Connections are about discovering the similarities instead of the differences. In this time, we as a community are in a constant state of uncertainty and isolation. We are feeling a void without these ordinary moments, realizing only now their healing power. Find ordinary moments to show compassion toward others. An act of compassion toward others is the basis for connection and the basis for community. Although we are not all together in the classroom and at the school, we have continued to be a socially knit community despite our physical separation. Through this last semester's isolation, we have found ways to connect with those we love. We have all surrounded ourselves with family and friends. We have found knowledge in our studies and wisdom from those who inspire us. Throughout these last few weeks and months, I have learned that we can be socially and emotionally connected, even when physically apart. A community is not just a group of people in a close geographical proximity, but is instead a group of people with strong social and emotional connections. This bond of community is what unites us in this difficult time. As we head into our futures as lifelong Craig Cougars, we will continue to be courageous and compassionate with our lives full of character and our hearts tied to the community. I wish all my fellow graduates the best of luck, and let's not just accomplish our goals, let's conquer them.
Hello, my name is Lauren Adler and I am our class's vice president. It gives me great honor to introduce our second student speaker, Grace Bussin. Grace has made her mark at Craig as student council executive treasurer, link crew leader, member of Interact Club, JSOL guide, and performer in school musicals such as Newsies and Pippin. She is also a member of music, Spanish, science, and National Honor Societies. Most would think that someone who partakes in this many school activities would be under large amounts of stress, leaving no time for extracurriculars. Well, not Grace. She tackled all of this while being a level 10 gymnast, earning herself 2 state champion titles and 1 national title. Traveled to 26 countries and over 50 cities worldwide, and even found a way to give back to her community as a 5th grade teacher's assistant at Kennedy Elementary School. Her internship position has allowed her to realize what she wants her future to look like. In the fall, Grace will attend the University of Central Florida in Orlando, participating in an accelerated master's program for elementary education and administration. Grace will undoubtedly continue to thrive and make our future generations proud. Please join me in welcoming Grace Bussin.
Hello, family, friends, Craig faculty, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of the class of 2020. Well, it's here. The day we've dreamed of. The pinnacle moment we, the class of 2020, become graduates of Craig High School. The day we officially become alumni of our school. For some, this moment comes after many obstacles stood in our way. Late nights of studying and finals we stressed over to earn a passing grade. For others, it was balancing sports, music, clubs, part-time jobs, all while fitting in time to learn algebra, biology, and U.S. history. This day sums up 13 years of lessons taught to us by faculty, advisors, administration, and coaches. Today is the day we celebrate as the class of 2020 together. I'm sure by now we have all heard in the news that we are the resilient children, the class of 2020, born during the uncertain times of 9/11 and now graduating during the uncertain times of a pandemic. Closer to home, we will forever be the only class that didn't leave their handprints in the hallways of our school. We are the graduating class with the asterisk, forever engraved in the history books as the class that finished their high school career virtually. The class that walked out the doors of Craig High School on March 13th, 2020, and never returned. The class that didn't attend their last prom or compete in spring sports. The class that missed out on competitions, lost jobs, and watched parents lose jobs when businesses closed virtually overnight. We are the class that didn't get to have our senior picnic or have a senior group picture taken to hang in the front entrance of our school for the next generations to see. We even have an asterisk next to our class as the only class not to pull off a senior prank. The class of 2020 sounds pretty abysmal, doesn't it? But these events and experience with adversity do not define us. What we do with this adversity, however, will ultimately define us. We have been given an opportunity to characterize ourselves in a new way that no other class before us has. So, what if this asterisk stood for something entirely different? An asterisk for the class that overcame adversity and became successful in life because we looked it in the face and accepted the challenge. No other class has been given the gift of time with family. Typically, seniors spend their last days of high school running to and from classes, events, games, ceremonies, studying for finals, working, and hanging with friends. Family got what little time seniors had left to give. For the class of 2020, the opportunity to spend a lot, and I mean a lot, of quality time with our family is priceless. Our parents, siblings, and even pets have relished this gift of time. We have laughed together, and we have cried together. We have binge-watched Tiger King, paraded down streets, and even made TikToks together. And no other class has been given the gift of time to learn true real-world knowledge. We have learned how to cook family meals, do our own laundry, budget money, and handle a level of adversity and uncertainty that even the greatest generation would approve of. These skills make us, the class of 2020, more prepared than any other class before us. For some, moving out to attend college, technical school, or the military will be easier. We have gained the necessary experiences to succeed on our own. For others, finding work to support our community and families are next. With our experience with adversity and resilience, employers will look at the class of 2020 as ones that made do and ones that rose to the challenge. Let's not make our asterisk a misstep. Let's make it our signature moment. The future teachers that guide the next generation are here today. Future engineers, medical professionals, business men and women, and maybe even a president of the United States are amongst us. It doesn't matter whether your greatness is big or small. Each of us has the power to add an asterisk to the world we live in. The world we are about to enter is full of uncertainty, but this unexpected time we all have been given has prepared us for it. At any moment, life can throw us a curveball. We, as the class of 2020, will be ready for these challenges when thrown our way. It's up to all of us to make sure that this asterisk is not a blemish, but instead let it serve as our handprint on the walls of tomorrow.
Hello, my name is Reagan Belke, Class Secretary. Today I have the privilege of introducing our guest speaker, Peter Suki, a beloved science teacher. He is a role model to the student body and brings a lighthearted and happy element to the halls of Craig High School. He's a man always holding a cup of fresh tea, ready to make anyone's day better. Peter Suki graduated from UW-Whitewater with a degree in ecology and went on to earn his master's in teaching from UW-La Crosse. He began his teaching career at Marshall Middle School for 14 years and has been at Craig for 3. Not only is he involved academically, but athletically as well. He has 17 years of experience coaching track and field, as well as 15 years of football and 2 years of coaching tennis at Marshall. Mr. Suki also has a love for the great outdoors, including hiking, canoeing, and camping. one accomplishment he is especially proud of is canoeing the Wisconsin River. His optimism and ability to keep every student engaged in class is truly admirable. It is now my honor and great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Peter Suki.
Hello, family and friends, Craig High School staff, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2020. I am extremely honored to be speaking to you today. Being chosen to give a commencement speech was something I never thought I would be asked to do. And I'm still not entirely sure whether the students were proud to have me as a teacher, a coach, and/or a mentor, or if it was their idea of punishment for having had to endure me here at Craig, or for many of them at Marshall Middle School as well. I feel a strong connection with this class. I have been incredibly fortunate to get to know more of you than a teacher usually gets to know the members of a graduating class. Having the opportunity to teach and coach at Marshall Middle School allowed me to meet almost half of you through 8 Blue Science, Empower Hour classes, and football or track. Before your sophomore year, I was transferred here to Craig High School. This gave me the chance to get to know even more of you, whether you were students from the red team I hadn't met, students from the other Janesville schools, or students that had moved into the district. Some of you wound up in my classes again. A few of you, as many as 3 times in the last 5 years. For that, I'm sorry that you had to put up with many of the same stories and jokes again and again. Either you are the most tolerant group of students, or you weren't paying that much attention in the first place. Regardless, thank you. You have enriched my life, and I am grateful that I have been able to come along for the ride, watching great kids turn into wonderful ladies and gentlemen. So now you are leaving high school behind and getting ready to start the next stage of your life. I can promise this time I definitely won't be coming along. But how to send you off? I tried to think about my own graduation, and I have to admit, either I'm too old to remember, quite possible, or I wasn't paying attention. What I do remember is being very happy, and I particularly remember the pride on the face of my grandpa and grandma Suki. Graduation is about you, your achievements, and the pride your family has in you. So I will keep this short and offer you 3 pieces of advice to put you on the path to having a successful and happy life. The Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu once wrote, "Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. It will only bring you sorrow." This may seem like an obvious bit of advice for students finishing their K-12 experience. Change is being thrust upon you. Instead of high school, it will be post-secondary education, the military, or straight to the workforce. Change seems like the natural next step, but as you get older, change is often unwanted and even terrifying. I know, change was forced on me 3 years ago. When I was first told I was being transferred to Craig, I was shocked. I cried. I wanted nothing to do with this change. I had spent 14 years at Marshall. It was my home away from home. I loved the people and I felt like a fixture, a leader within the building. When the next school year started, it almost immediately became evident that it was a great move. The staff was incredibly welcoming and helpful. And everywhere I looked were your familiar and friendly faces. 3 years later, I am happier teaching than I have ever been in my career. I didn't lose the people I left behind. I just gained more of everything. Change challenges you. It can make you better if you embrace it. My second bit of advice is to be present. Wherever you are, be there. And whatever you're doing, do it with an honest effort. You will make a lot of mistakes in your life, but the mistakes that tend to hurt the worst are the mistakes of omission. I think about my time at the University of Wisconsin. I know that I didn't try. I never gave myself a chance. I rarely, if ever, was present. And after 2 semesters, I was asked to take a year off. I needed to grow up, work, and figure out that life can be tough. Luckily, I got another chance. Not at UW. Life and circumstances had changed, and I wound up at UW-Whitewater. I made sure this time I was present. I worked my butt off. I retook some of the classes that transferred from Madison and was able to graduate magna cum laude. Be present. Always give yourself a chance. My last and probably the most important bit of advice can be summed up by Aesop. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. The importance of being kind can never be overstated. Being kind is easy. It makes people feel appreciated. It lets them know they matter. During my second year of teaching, I had a student tell me that I was the only reason they came to school. This shocked me. I knew it wasn't because I was such a masterful teacher, so I asked them what they meant. They said it was because I was friendly, and I treated the students not like kids, but like young adults. This has always stuck with me. I try never to forget the importance of being kind and the effects it has on everyone around you. I believe this is the reason I was asked to give this speech. I know it certainly wasn't for my charm and dashingly handsome looks. Being kind costs nothing, but it pays huge dividends. It will be strange not to see you guys walking the halls, in class with me, or just stopping by to chat next year. I know that you'll be missed. I'll miss you. As I said earlier, this day is for you. Celebrate your accomplishments, and then go out and create an incredible life for yourself. Embrace change, be present, and be kind, and I am certain that this will happen. Congratulations to you, the class of 2020.
It is now my distinct honor to present the graduates of Craig High School's class of 2020. I am joined by the entire Craig administration, faculty, and staff in celebrating the accomplishments of these seniors.
a time machine and I could give advice to my January 2020 self, I would say to try to be on time to school because you're actually going to miss those moments at Craig.
Just have fun and get to know some of my classmates more.
That online school sucks.
Stop going to soccer open gyms because we won't have a season anyway.
So one kind of useful skill that I learned during quarantine would be how to manage boredom.
How to tie-dye.
How to make homemade mac and cheese.
Taught myself how to cook more.
First thing I'm gonna do once the quarantine is over, go to the gym.
Is I'm gonna go hiking.
I'd like to go to a Brewers game or some sort of sporting event.
I'd hug all of my friends.
Hang out with my girlfriend.
See all my friends and celebrate and just give them a big hug.
After graduation, I am joining the Marine Corps. I'm planning on going to Bangkok Technique to become a welder.
I'm attending Edgewood College to major in biology.
I think I'm definitely gonna work until spring of 21, right?
One teacher that has really impacted me is Mr. Jacob Wheeler. Mr. Wheeler loves his job and he's built so many relationships with so many kids and he's made his room a safe space for everyone. And I hope that one day I can help my students the same way he's helped me and so many others. Thank you for everything, Mr. Wheeler.
All of my science teachers, Miss Duncan being one that I had for 2 years,
really opened my eyes to the path of science that I could take. I also think my music teacher lit home. Really, her personality showed me that I don't have to change myself to do whatever I want.
Michelle Meyer, she was good. Michelle.
The teacher who has had the biggest impact on my high school career is Miss Lawton.
Was Miss Meyer and Miss Farrell.
Miss Bayer de Garcia. She was always just a friend to me and such a great teacher.
My pre-cal teacher, Miss Meyer, because she always pushed me to do my best.
I have to give a special shout out to Miss Lottis and Miss Kleinschmidt in the SWS program. They have impacted my life the most.
Yes, either have to be Mr. Miles or Miss Bayer de Garcia, my Spanish teacher.
Skill I learned during quarantine. Learned how to change oil in a lawnmower. It's a pain.
How to do Sudoku, even though I knew it, but just like gotten way better at it. And Candy Crush.
To be patient.
Do my own laundry. I'm definitely gonna need that one in college.
What's next after graduation? I'm gonna go to college to attend UW Whitewater and go into School of Business.
I'm going to UW Eau Claire in the fall, and I'm going to major in nursing.
Go to culinary school, you know.
In 5 years, I see myself attending vet school, and in 10 years, I see myself in my beginning years of my veterinary medicine career.
5 years, I see myself working as first graduating college and then working as a flight instructor to build my hours to become an airline pilot.
Out of Wisconsin, just anywhere, and adventuring. In 10 years, I would see myself married and starting a family, hopefully somewhere nice and warm.
Time machine, what advice would I give to myself in January? I would tell myself to hang out with friends as much as possible because I won't be able to see them for a while.
Really take advantage of every opportunity that I'm given and just live my life to the fullest, honestly.
Make sure I tell myself to stay positive and try and stay in shape and all that.
After quarantine is over, I'm planning on getting a bunch of my friends to go to Taco Bell like we usually do.
Get a haircut. My bangs are driving me crazy.
What's next after graduation? Jacksonville University, majoring in aviation.
I'm going to UW Whitewater to wrestle.
I plan on going to Edgewood College in Madison, Wisconsin and playing for their women's volleyball program.
I don't know, I'm still deciding on where to go.
I would go back and tell myself to try on the most expensive prom dresses there is, take lots of pictures, and then don't buy anything.
I'd buy exercise equipment and make room for it.
Don't plan on tradition, because it's not gonna happen.
A useful skill that I have learned during quarantine is to enjoy reading more.
I like to fish more. I was sleeping a little longer than usual.
I learned how to binge watch a lot of TV.
What's next after graduation? College, UW Whitewater at Rock County.
I'm attending UW Whitewater in the fall for social work.
I plan on being a plumber, working in Janesville at Pipe Dreams Plumbing.
Go to college at Whitewater at Rock County.
The one teacher who has impacted me the most throughout high school would be Mr. Wheely.
Probably Mr. Knoll, actually. Yeah. He was a real one.
I'd definitely say Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles was my favorite teacher of junior year.
Definitely Mr. Miller. He really just changed my entire personality. I have so much more confidence from being in choir.
Is Mark Mullen. So he definitely is one person that I hope to stay friends with for the rest of my life because he's made a big impact on my life.
where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Hopefully still being a teacher, potentially getting a master's degree or higher education degree.
Owning my own house and having a family and owning my own business.
I see myself living on my own here in Florida and having a golden retriever named Sergeant.
I really just want to have things set for myself, you know, have a completely stable family because I wasn't always given that opportunity.
When this quarantine is over, I will go hug my friends and go for a hike and just enjoy the freedoms that we naturally have.
I'm going to resume life as normal with lots of people.
Probably go to a nice restaurant.
Go out to eat.
Go to graduation parties and just try and make the most of it.
A useless skill that I have learned over this quarantine is how to actually play Fortnite instead of camping in bushes.
I started to do some more cooking. I started to learn to cook some new recipes.
Just how to have a lot of patience.
How to juggle a soccer ball.
Where do I see myself in 5 years? I'll probably still be in Janesville, maybe. I don't really know. I don't plan that far ahead.
Hopefully in the next 10 years, I will be a dentist.
See myself interpreting for a couple of hospitals.
I see myself in my very own classroom, teaching.
I see myself owning more ferrets and more instruments.
Hopefully getting out of school, graduating with my nursing degree. I also learned that my dog likes to go on a lot of walks. She's even here with me right now.
In 10 years? I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, hopefully doing something productive.
I've learned how to binge watch TV shows. Is there a teacher who made a big impact in your life? No.
College, gonna go to MATC for accounting. Graduating college with majoring.
And another thing that I'm gonna do when quarantine's over is get a haircut.
I'd probably just go to Florida, go to the beach, travel somewhere.
I'm planning on taking a trip to Los Angeles.
Go shopping and spend too much money. I just love shopping.
If I had a time machine to go back to January of 2020, my advice to myself would be who you want to be and don't let the negativity or other people bring you down.
I wouldn't give myself any advice.
To be more social.
To just really be thankful for my teachers. If I would have known it was the end, I would have just gone. I would have had so much fun. I really wouldn't have cared about school that much. I kind of just would have lived it.
do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I see myself being a financial planner.
I see myself going to dental school, and hopefully in 10 years I will be starting out as an orthodontist.
Pretty much still in school and managing student loans.
On my way of moving up in the cooking business, maybe becoming a professional chef.
I don't know, something I've always wanted to do is adopt like teenagers and just get them back on their feet before they have to go into the world by themselves and not have any kind of support system.
When this quarantine is over, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends.
I will probably be planning to go visit my family down in Texas.
And give a big hug to my grandparents and also to my friends.
Take a little road trip, go do some stuff.
After graduation, I will be attending the University of Central Florida in Orlando, Florida, studying elementary education and administration. Go Knights and charge on!
I'm going to University of Minnesota Duluth. I'm planning on majoring in biochemistry.
Made an impact on my life would probably be my band teacher, Mr. Wheely. He has just taught me a lot of valuable lessons about just enjoying life.
All of my teachers have motivated me and impacted my life in some type of way.
And Mr. B,
influenced me with saying that my mom was good.
My Spanish teacher, Bayer de Garcia, she's made a big impact on me to keep continuing Spanish, keep believing in yourself, keep going.
Advice that I'll give to myself is always prepare yourself for the worst or the best. You never know what the future holds.
The first thing I tell myself is to get a haircut in just right before quarantine starts, whatever day that was.
In reality, I wish I had like a time machine to go back to junior year to tell me that that was gonna be like my last year.
I would tell myself to not take anything for granted because you can lose it just like that.
Never take your senior year for granted.
Is to cherish every moment that I have left with my friends.
By successfully completing the School District of Janesville's requirements for a Craig High School diploma, members of the class of 2020 honored in this ceremony have successfully completed their high school education and been awarded their diplomas. On behalf of the Janesville Board of Education and as your superintendent of schools, please accept my congratulations and best wishes. Congratulations, class of 2020.
It's now the moment in our ceremony when the class of 2020 moves their tassels from the right to the left side of their graduation caps, signifying the end of their high school experience. I now present to you the Craig Alumni Class of 2020.